The quality of your questions highlights the quality of your life and business, because the qualities of your life and business are influenced by the answers you act upon. Welcome, my name is Steve Hobbs, and I'm sharing a presentation on 9+1 perspective mapping questions in response to a query that was made to me. The map that we're going to use throughout this presentation is before you, and I'm going to share some definitions of the title and then start to look at the questions and the format that is inside this model. Perspective means a way of regarding something, an attitude about or a mental view of that something. It also refers to a drawing of a two-dimensional model to give impression of height, width, depth, position relationship to one another. If you notice, the drawing has a sense that it's going into the paper towards that bubble that is sort of rippling with the IF in it. Mapping is a process of representing something in relationship to another. So what I'm presenting here is a map that allows you to see how things are put together in some kind of relationship. Also, question is a sentence worded to elicit information. This notion of the quality of your question highlights the quality of your life and business. The imagined future, this IF world that's out into the front of this diagram, as I like to refer to it, is about pulling you fromward. I know the language is a little different than you're used to, but the idea is about pulling you fromward. In other words, your imagined future is pulling you from itself. It's taking you into the future and saying, this is where you want to work from today. It's about pulling you from the mystery or your manifestation. It's about the possibilities and opportunities. It's a great place in which to bring your imagination to life, but yet you have to bring that into your current reality to be able to make it sing and dance with you. The current reality is about pushing you forward. It's about drawing from your history for materialization, about your potential and strengths. So the imagined future is about your manifestation, your current reality. If you're taking this manifestation and putting it into your reality, is about the materialization of that imagined future. There's a gap between the imagined future, the mystery, and the current reality, history. To gain your perspective is to ask questions of this gap. In other words, let the journey tension inform you. What's happening here is between the if world and the current reality, which is where questions start to unfold for you. You need to be able to ask the questions into this gap. And with the answers, you are informed for your journey as you move forward. So let me give you some examples here. There's the why, the how, the who in, and what questions that explore the past to the present. In other words, the history, with a preview of the future, the mystery. The current reality, if, is about pushing the best of the current reality history forward. So what I'm sharing with you here is that there are 5 questions here that you need to pay attention to. There's the why question, which is looking at the direction and strategy. There's the how question that's looking at arrangement and systems. There's the who in question that's looking at connections and relationship with yourself and those who are immediately around you, your family and friends. And there's also the what question, which is about the resources that are available to you. But there's also this if world that's just outside of these questions, just a little bit in front of you. And what it's doing is the if question is pushing you forward because of the history that you know in answer to these questions. What's happening is that you're pushing yourself forward. Now there's the other questions here, the other 5 questions, which is the whole, the when, the where, the who out questions that explore the future to the present. the mystery, with a post view of the past, the history. The imagined future if is about pulling the imagined future mystery, frontward. So what we're getting at here is this notion of the whole question, which is about the fitness. It actually takes the why question out into the future and says, really, what is the fitness of what it is that we're going to work on to be able to really truly understand that? The when and where is to take it out into the future, is to start figuring out the then and the here that you're going to actually work with. The who out is in the marketplace conversation. It's your market, your audience. It could also be your extended work colleagues, other teams. It could be whatever it is that you determine is more external than your internal who in. The imagined future if, what it's sharing is that it's actually pulling you fromward. The if question balances the past to present and the future to present perspectives. Remain aware of the present for decision making. That's what the if world is about. So you might hear things like what if, but you could also have a why if, a how if, a who in if, a whole if, when if, where if, who out if. This if is a very powerful tool for you because what it does is it keeps you present to be able to understand this relationship between the current reality and the imagined future. There are two what questions that need to be asked at the very beginning because it will help to establish this perspective mapping model. The first question is, what's the imagined future you're working from? And second, what is the transition readiness of your current reality? Because if you don't know what your imagined future is that you're working from, it's hard to have a place in which to point the time, effort, and money to be able to have things happen. Also, you need to understand how ready you are to transition out of your current reality. Because if you're holding on to dear life for what was, it's going to be difficult to be able to get this imagined future. Also, another important what related question is, and this gets down to, the very brass tacks of things. What resources, in other words, time, effort, and money, are available to action the answers to the questions? Please pay attention to what resources, what time, what effort, what money is needed with the answers to the other questions to be able to move forward and to be pulled fromward. Of the 10 questions, one is likely flashing at you like a neon sign. Pay attention to it in connection with the other questions. So slow down, dig into the meaning of the question, find the pattern it's suggesting, recognize anything that's happening as you gain your perspective, because it really is worth the pause when this question is flashing at you like a neon sign. Also, I just thought, maybe in case you didn't know, the 5 W's and 1 H were memorialized by Rudyard Kipling in his Just So stories, in which a poem accompanying the tale of the elephant's child opens with, I keep 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. Their names are what and why and when and how and where and who. So with that, I leave you to work through a perspective map on whatever it is that you're looking at that's unfolding in front of you at this time.